What's up, guys? It's your boy Kenny. We're back with another edition of Conversations with Kenny. We're here on a Wednesday, getting ready for AEW Dynamite today, and I decided to jump on here. And I did have a guest with me that was supposed to jump on here, but something happened. He couldn't make it, so we're gonna reschedule for another time. But I still wanted to come on here though, talk a little bit of about WrestleMania, the whole Nash Carter thing that just popped off today. I want to talk a little bit about my trip to Dallas. I did go to Dallas. I did not go to WrestleMania, but I did go to Dallas just for one day. I had the greatest opportunity to meet Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I'll share a little bit as to why I decided to take this one day trip just to meet this man. But I want to give a big shout out, not first to the guys over at the Knuckleheads Network, and that is Tole, Gigi, and Show, Cap, Krills, Dave from the from the Pro Wrestling Podcast. It's the whole Knuckleheads Network family that we all work together as one to try to bring you guys more and more content. Each and every day we have shows that goes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm surprised we don't have anything on Saturdays and Sundays, but then our families will probably try and kick us out of the house. Also, a big shout out to the guys over at the Run In Podcasts. I do work with them as well. You can always find Kenny's Corrections over on the Run In. And that is about it. So let's get into the festivities. After months of speculations and rumors and all conversations leading into WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes makes his triumphant return back to sports entertainment, and not too many people are happy about it. For me personally, I thought it was great for him to show up finally. This is the first big AEW name to jump ship and come over to the entertainment side of professional wrestling. And what better person than Cody Rhodes? You know, I said it in multiple, shows that I did throughout WrestleMania weekend that, WWE in a whole now is going to be under the microscope now, as far as like, what are they going to do with other talent in that come over from AEW and want to cross over to WWE? What's going to happen with them next, right? So like with Cody Rhodes being this person that's like, he already said it in multiple interviews throughout the weekend that, if people come to him and ask like, of making that decision of jumping over, which he says he knows people who actually want to come to WWE, which was very interesting to hear, because obviously we know like someone like MJF, who have said multiple times that he wants to come over to WWE. Could be a possibility now in 2024 that we could see, MJF crossover. I thought he had a really great match at WrestleMania. I thought it was great that he did kick off night one of WrestleMania. A lot of people for night one of WrestleMania, we'll go over the card for that one, we're sleeping on night one. A lot of people said, I got stuff to do. I know the guys over at the Run-In podcast, they even said it, that a lot of people that they spoke to said that they were going to maybe pass on night one. And not for nothing, night one was way better than night two of WrestleMania. And that was just my personal opinion, and I know night two we had, Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. We had Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. But I think night one set that set for night two and was like, hey, you guys have to go out there now and top that. And I don't think night two did it. We start off with, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, Rick Boogs and Nakamura, they tried to set that bar when it came to tag teams. And I have to say that even though Rick Boogs got injured, man, the guy's freaking strong. And he tried to go for a move that just didn't set right with people and, with himself. And it just didn't turn out the way he wanted to. But I'm hoping for speedy recovery for Rick Boogs. A lot of people said that maybe if he didn't get injured, would him and Nakamura be tag team champions right now. I know Fightful had reported that the working plan for that match was still to have the Usos come out on top and still be the SmackDown tag team champs, which was an actually a really good move on their part, just because Roman Reigns being the tribal chief that he is, and walking away of the main event of WrestleMania as still champion would have been fitting for that team and just everyone in a whole still to keep their championships. The next match for night one was Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. A lot of people did not want to see this match. I, for one, said to myself, like, this is something that I can maybe, go out and order food or, make sure if I'm cooking that like the food is not burning or whatever the case may be, or just have like a general conversation with other people that were in my house for the time. My sister-in-law came over and my wife was here and like the kids and stuff like that. So we all got to talking as far as like what to expect for WrestleMania. But not for nothing, this match was really good. I actually enjoyed the Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin match. I am going to get to the Nash Carter stuff. I just want to go over a lot of the stuff that happened over at WrestleMania for night one and night two. I'm not going to go over every card because I really don't want to spend a lot of time on here anyway, but the Happy Corbin Drew McIntyre match, I thought that was really great too. Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair stole the show for night one. They were the match of the night in a lot of people's opinions, along with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kevin Owens, of course. This finally, like the story that they told in the ring, I think was fitting for them. We didn't see a lot of the strength of Bianca Belair, which was great. I know a lot of people wanted her to come off the gate and just have that fire approach, and her playing the defensive role in the match, phenomenal. Becky Lynch proved to everyone over the weekend as to why she is one of the top heels in the women's division. I think she plays a way better heel than Charlotte does. I think Charlotte just plays off of her own ego, which we've seen her in night one against Ronda Rousey. That match was a snooze fest. It was not one of Charlotte Flair's best matches. And I know I give Charlotte a lot of, shit. And, when me, Toe, and Show are talking about wrestling, and we always get on Show about being a Charlotte Flair fan. I am a Charlotte Flair fan, and I have to say that match over the weekend was not her best work at all. When it came to the Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes match, I knew a lot of people was already chanting for Cody. I think that if it wasn't Cody Rhodes that came out on Saturday, the fans of WWE and AEW and in wrestling in general, because I have to categorize fans in different ways. I just can't say wrestling fans in a whole. I have to like WWE fans, AEW fans, and then wrestling fans in general would have all lost their shit if Cody Rhodes was not the opponent for Seth Rollins at night one of WrestleMania. I can only imagine who else could have been that person if Cody wasn't ready to come for Mania. I know a lot of people, speculated that it could have been Shane McMahon. People threw out Veer in there. People threw out Bobby Lashley before he was going with Omos. There was a short list of people. I know like Marco Stunt's name was thrown out there a couple of times. That would have been crazy if that would have showed up. Elias's name was thrown out there, but at the end we got Cody Rhodes, and which was crazy to me as far as like the whole Cody Rhodes debut. I just literally felt like they just took Cody from AEW, took the whole entire package. Like they just took the whole package of Cody Rhodes and then just plopped it on the WrestleMania stage, and how he came out. Like the only thing Cody needed was his dog and Brandy and Arn Anderson. That's all he needed. And what's crazy about it is that when he was talking a lot in interviews over the weekend, QT Marshall was backstage at WrestleMania, which was very interesting to me because QT is one of the head trainers over at the Nightmare Factory. And we don't see a lot of QT at AEW. Could we possibly see QT Marshall in WWE in another year or two? Never know. It all depends on how this whole venture with him and WWE Cody Rhodes go. Um, my heart was so happy to see Stone Cold Steve Austin back inside of a wrestling ring and actually wrestling. Um, I got a really good opportunity. A friend of mine hit me up and said, "Hey, Stone Cold is doing a meet and greet in Dallas to promote his new beer, the Broken Skull American Lager, and he's having like this really like small concert in Dallas. Do you want to go?" And without even batting an eye, I said, "Yes, I am going. Give me the link." I got the link. I got the VIP pass. I got my plane ticket. I found a hotel that was literally right across the street from the venue, and I booked everything the same day. Went into my savings. This was something. There's like a hit the glass emergency type thing. Like I need to go to this ASAP. And the reason why I wanted to go to this, because Stone Cold Steve Austin does not do a lot of meet and greets. A lot of the time, he does private signings where you could just mail in your like an action figure, a 8x10, whatever it is that you're trying to get Austin to sign. You mail it in and then he'll sign it. You never get to see the man sign the thing at all, which is kind of sketchy to me at times. And then they mail it back to you. So to have this opportunity for Austin to meet Austin in person, and to tell him the joy he brought me as a kid, growing up watching him wrestle people like Triple H, The Undertaker, Mankind, Dude Love, The Rock, Brock Lesnar. It was a dream come true because I got to meet Austin when I was 14 years old, and this was way before we had these cell phones with the cameras on it, and I had to take a camera, with film, and I stood online for 3 hours, and I finally get up there. 14-year-old me is there. He meets his idol, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He takes a picture, goes all the way down to the film place where they used to have those film shops where you can go in, hand them the film, they develop it for you, and then you pay them money, you can get your film back, right? For the lady to tell me that none of the film came out, I was crushed like you would never believe as a kid. And I never had the opportunity again to meet Stone Cold Steve Austin because, at the time, afterwards, when I started to get older in my teens, I took a break from watching wrestling and focused more on college and girls and all that other nonsense that, we do as we get older. And then when I finally came back into wrestling, Stone Cold was already retired. He was not doing autograph signings. And here we are today, 25 years later, and I get to meet Stone Cold Steve Austin. So that was like a really cool experience of going to Dallas. Went there early morning, checked in, went to the event, and then like literally the next day flew back home and watched the rest of WrestleMania, which was, like I said, which was really great. A lot of people were upset at the Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar match. They said that the build up to this should have been better. Like the match should have been better in a whole. I agree with a lot of people, especially all the back and forth that we had between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. They had the whole thing at Madison Square Garden. He like fucking destroyed car after car. The cat and mouse game between the two, and just for it to end the way it did was kind of disappointing. Well, it wasn't kind of disappointing. It really was disappointing in a way. And I know a lot of people sounded off on this and said the same thing. Night two, I would have to say that the Raw Tag Team title match stole the show. I thought they really had a really great job. them, and then especially them introducing, having more of a Gabe Stevenson role shows us that like what is next for this young man as he steps into the WWE universe. His brother, Bobby Stevenson, is already in there already. You can catch him on Level Up as Damian Kemp. He's been doing fairly well so far and Leveled Up. I thought, I've caught a couple of his matches, and I think he's going to be a really big star as well. The Raw after WrestleMania was okay. If anybody was in the chats with us, with me, Toe, and Show, and Dave on Monday, you can tell that a lot of the time, we were going back and forth on other topics. Besides, Raw, we saw Veer, which as much times as we joked about Veer coming to Monday Night Raw, I thought his debut was exactly what we needed. Just go in there, destroy whoever's in that ring, and let your presence be known. It just happened to be the Mysterios, which was incredible. I feel so bad for Dominic because he got truly kicked in the face. We got obviously we got the typical Cody promo. I was just hoping he wouldn't do these type of promos that he did in AEW, but it looks like we're still gonna get these. I'm proud to be a Patriot mark, athlete. This time around, it wasn't about his wife and his daughter. It was more on his dad and what he wants to have his legacy for. Mike is saying, it was not. It was, you know what, Mike? I have to agree with you. And it was like it wasn't that great. It wasn't, like as I said, it was like a typical Cody promo that we were already expecting, as far as like from Cody Rhodes and everything that he did in AEW. But yeah, what else? What else happened on Monday Night Raw? It looks like the Miz is completely done with the Mysterios. But I do feel that he's not done with Logan Paul. We do have WrestleMania Backlash, and I do feel that I think we're going to get another Logan Paul match for WrestleMania Backlash. WrestleMania Backlash right now is looking like it's just going to be a whole bunch of rematches. We've seen MVP turn on Bobby Lashley, so most likely we're going to end up getting Omos versus Bobby Lashley again at WrestleMania Backlash. We most likely are going to get another tag team title match at WrestleMania Backlash. I don't believe that we most likely will get Ronda versus Charlotte. I know definitely we're not going to get, hopefully we don't get Becky versus Bianca. I think that chapter is done. The tag team title matches, again, I have no idea what's going on with the women. We're going to get another rematch between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley versus Team Bad. What else happened? And I think that's about it. We're like 22 minutes into this stream. Obviously, I had a guest, so I had like a whole bunch of things that I wanted to discuss. I know that Final Edit wanted me to touch base a little bit on the Nash Carter situation. It sucks for his tag team partner. That's what I'm gonna say at this point. I want to see what else happens with this story because there's a lot of holes in this. Like for me, my personal opinion, if you are a man or you are a woman who puts their hands on someone else, as far as like a man putting his hands on a woman or a woman putting their hands on a man, I don't condone this at all. I think you should know better as a human being to try to outpower someone when it comes to this thing. Hey, Patrick, what's going on? Everything's good. I'm just here, about to wrap up a little bit. And then later on at 8:00, I'm going to jump back on over on the Pro Wrestling Podcast to check out AEW Dynamite for a little bit before I go to work. That's my boy Dave. He's going to be there. So, you can check the streams. I'll be most likely on there with him for a little while. Trying to wrap up the show now, talking a little bit of the Nash Carter situation, because it was really strange how when they won the tag team titles on Saturday, Kimberly had posted a message on Twitter saying that she was a proud wife and she was really happy that he won the tag team titles. Um, so it's a little conflicting when it comes to this situation because now we don't know what exactly is the truth. Like, did he physically abuse her? And is she mad at something that happened and she's trying to get back at him? We see this a lot. Tyson, what is going on, my friend? So to hear these allegations now of Nash Carter in a domestic situation, obviously WWE takes these things very seriously. They want to make sure that they're covered on their end. I'm just trying to see maybe if there's any updates on this stuff here. Right now, there is not any a lot of talk on this. I'm kind of wondering the same thing that Patrick is wondering is like what happens now with the tag team titles. Patrick says now what are they going to do with the tag team titles? I don't know. Even though that there's two people in this situation here, we have to think about the third person in this. And that's Wentz. It's like what happens to him? Now that Nash Carter is gone. There's no more MSK. How do you play this into a story role where one half of the tag team champions is no longer a part of the company while the other one is still sitting in NXT 2.0? Do you revamp him into a singles competitor and have him go after the North American title? Do you put him with another tag team partner? And if so, who is going to match him as far as like style wise? Because Carter and Wentz, like they clicked because they were a part of a tag team already in Impact Wrestling. So they've been partners for years, So it's like, where is WWE? Where is WWE? Where is what is Bruce Pritchard and everybody else that's a part of WWE going to do with Wentz and this whole situation? We gotta really see how this plays out. I know a lot of people are gonna go through their emotions. Kofi Kingston is in the house. He says, "Who cares? It was a bad choice for them to come in first place. Daz was better off solo." I believe he was off solo too. So now we're gonna see him in a solo role most likely. Be careful who you lay with and keep your hands to yourself. You know what? And that is a really good thing because I am a father of two boys and I tell my kids all the time, make sure you keep your hands to yourself. Do not do stuff to other people that you don't want done to yourself. And this is something that my mom taught me at an early age. And, never put your hands on a female at all. If a female puts his hands on you, then guess what? This is why we have the police, ladies and gentlemen. Tyson says, I saw an article on this situation, and it's messed up with all parties involved. And that's why I say, like, we don't know exactly what the whole situation is. We're only hearing it from one side, and she is being very vocal about it. She has posted pictures about it. And that's what got everybody stirred up, was just like, okay, we seen the pictures. He just did stand. You literally just posted about your husband on Saturday. And then I believe it was Sunday or Monday, we get those pictures. I believe it was Monday because I was talking to Dave about it from the Pro Wrestling Podcast. He had sent it to me, and then we started discussing about it on Monday on the stream. And, and we were kind of wondering, like, where is this going to go? And then we found out today that WWE decided to let him go. So, obviously WWE had to make this decision sooner or later, especially with a lot of their corporate people and a lot of the people who are funding WWE in a whole are going to want to, are going to have questions. They're going to want to know exactly what's going on. And like I said, if this is a really messy situation that really needs to just play out, I have my views on things. If he did put his hands on her, then he deserves everything that's coming to him. If he did not put his hands on her, and this is just something that she's stirring up to get back at him for something that he did, maybe he cheated on her in some type of way, and she just feels like, I need to get back at him in some weird way, then she deserves everything that comes to her down the line, moving forward. I hope we get more information about not, enough of this is somebody else's business. Show is in the house. My one of my co-hosts on Mondays is in the building right now. You see it in the chat thing here. Just wrapping up here really quickly. Both parties involved need to handle this privately. This is not something that we need to be involved in as wrestling fans. Because guess what? We go through personal stuff every single day, and I don't think that we want to have a lot of our issues come to light. I wish everyone the best. I hope that I really hope that the two could resolve this in some type of way, and he can move on from this and maybe possibly get some help if he really is having these domestic violence issues, because putting your hands on a female is something that you really need to sit there and really evaluate yourself as far as what kind of human being are you. Go one more question here. Mike, sometimes you should just stay off social media with issues like this. Let your local law enforcement know first, you know what, Mike? I'm 100% behind you on this one. I really do think that, yeah, you're right. This is something that should have been done privately. I think that, especially if you want to have the authorities involved in this, just handle this the only way you can. And then if you want to go on social media and say, this is what's going on with me, then cool. But now we're kind of all these fans are going to be in the mix of things and wondering exactly what's going on. And not for nothing, like I said before I wrap this up, it's none of our business. So I'm praying for Nash. I'm praying for Kimberly. I'm using their stage names for now. But guys, thank you so much for staying on here. Like I said, I hope my guest, Miguel, I hope he is doing well. I know he had an emergency he needed to take care of. So I hope all the best is for you guys. Come back to check my social media. I'm going to be on live again at 8:00 with Dave from the Pro Wrestling Podcast, not on my channel, but on his channel, because he's doing the AEW Dynamite watch along. You can catch me again on Monday. We're going to end up doing Monday Night Raw with me, Toe, and Show. No, I missed the whole thing. No, I was only here for a little while anyway, Show. It's okay. So catch me on Mondays, 7:30 p.m., same time like here. We go live every single Monday, me, Toe, and Show. Don't forget to go on the Knuckleheads Network and check them out. They have a stream going on today, too, at 9:00. If you want to check out wrestling with the Knuckleheads Podcast, they are going to have their stream on Thursday at 9:00. Like I said, check out the Pro Wrestling Podcast stream today at 8:00. They're doing AEW Dynamite Watch Along. I will be there for an hour or so, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how much time I actually have to dedicate to it, because I have a million and one things going on right now besides work and being a dad and trying to do God knows what. But guys, until next time, be safe and have a good night.